We've all heard the old proverb that beauty is a curse, but Ryan Murphy, never one for subtlety, decided to make it a literal biological IED. The beauty arrived on FX and Hulu this year with the kind of tabloid ready, look at me energy that usually precedes a masterpiece or a multi-car pileup. Coming off the back of The Substance and our collective obsession with the Ozempic era perfection, the timing was surgically precise. We have Evan Peters back in the Murphyverse, a high concept body horror premise involving STDs that turn you into a supermodel before making you go pop, and a billionaire antagonist who looks suspiciously like he's trying to sell us a tech bro utopia. But as the smoke clears on season 1, we're left staring at a show that is deeply, almost pathologically Ryan Murphy. It's a series that starts as a sleek, nihilistic noir dripping with atmosphere and genuine dread, only to spend its final hour sprinting headfirst into a brick wall of nonsensical plotting and shock for shock's sake twists. It's a show that wants to be Cronenberg but feels like a high-fashion episode of Nip Tuck that suffered a nervous breakdown. I mean, visually, the beauty is a triumph of expensive grotesque. It captured the cold, sterile, European chic, all limestone walls, high-end couture, and clinical lighting, and smears it with some of the most repulsive practical effects I've seen on TV, period. It's this genuine tactile nastiness to the transformations that is nasty. It's not just getting hot, it's a violent, wet, bone-shifting reorganization of the human form. And the show excels into the atmospheric anxiety of it all. The feeling that a beautiful face is just a temporary mask for a melting internal anatomy. The sound design alone, that wet crunch of shifting cartilage, does more heavy lifting than the entire script of this season. It creates a world where the pursuit of perfection isn't just vain, it's a terminal illness. So the narrative engine of season 1 is a two-pronged attack on the American obsession with status. You have one side, we have the FBI agents Cooper Madsen and Jordan Bennett, played with a weary, grounded chemistry by Evan Peters and Rebecca Hall, navigating a global trail of spontaneously combusting supermodels. They're the ground level, discovering the hottest people on the planet are actually walking petri dishes for highly virulent virus that grants 855 days of perfection before the ignition ketosis sets in. Basically, they fucking explode. And on the other side, we have the god level of Byron Forst, corporation, tech mogul playing a dangerous game of biological monopoly. He's manufactured a world where beauty is a commodity, a drug, and a weapon. As the agents close in, the world begins to fracture. We see the desperate, like Jeremy, a directionless kid who becomes a protege to an elite assassin. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. And then there's the powerful, like the FBI's own leadership, all willing to trade their humanity for a better jawline. By the time we hit the World Beauty Day, the virus is no longer a secret. It's a global product launch and the fuse is already lit. So we got to get the controversies out of the way first. So obviously the show was greenlit due to The Substance, right? You could say this is a knockoff of The Substance, but this is based on an Image comic book, apparently. I have not read it, but definitely got greenlight because of The Substance and the attention that got. So it seems like Ryan Murphy really took advantage of that Demi Moore buzz and sprinted to the finish line with this comic book to try to make it to a TV show. And, you know, Ryan Murphy, the trash boy that he is, has to go into that tabloid meta casting by casting Ashton Kutcher, whose character apparently doesn't even exist in the comic book. And of course, Ashton Kutcher, if you don't remember, is the ex-husband of Demi Moore, and they were all over the tabloids at the time. So Ryan Murphy isn't known for his constraint or even his class. He really is really trashy when it comes to this. Like, he is the tabloid showrunner if I ever saw one, which just can be good, and most often it's bad. So in a show about horrors of youth seeking, just feels like classic Murphy just trolling the audience. And there's like a lot of mainstream critics who found the spontaneous combustion and the skin shedding too extreme for network adjacent TV. After watching The Boys or whatever else, I'm just so used to seeing bodies just explode into a bloody mess. But man, the transformations in this are disgusting. But I've seen a lot worse on network adjacent TV now, where they've been really pushing the boundary of what they show. So it didn't bother me, but I'm glad they didn't like restrain that. Now for the show. I just finished the first season just recently. It's not one of those shows that I feel compelled to watch the new episode every week. It's just like Ryan Murphy trash. I kind of half paid attention to it and kind of half watched it. And that's how I feel about Ryan Murphy a lot of the time. I think he's done some great TV. I've really liked a lot of the American Horror Story, the first several seasons, actually. American Crime Story, I watched the OJ one. I watched the assassination of Versace, and even watched his Monster series on Netflix, which I liked the Dahmer one. The Menendez one was okay. But I only got like an episode and a half on that Ed Gein one. It was fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I could not do that. You get like Aunt Jackie Bush in the first episode, so I don't know. But here, I was going to give him another chance. And am I going to regret it? Let's find out. I really like Evan Peters in this. I think he's the anchor that really makes this work. And I like the relationship he had with his partner, his FBI partner, played by Rebecca Hall. Rebecca Hall isn't in the show very long because someone infects her with the beauty by having sex with her, because that's how it's transmitted. You either get the shot or you have sex with someone who has it. And I believe the way the show works is that if you get it through sexual activity, you're going to explode in 855 days. But Evan Peters really does work in this. He's kind of like that tired soul. And it's the gritty Noir part is what really works for me. And it kind of sucks that we lose Rebecca Hall's Jordan early on. But I think Jessica Alexander, who takes over the role as the more beautiful version of Rebecca Hall, apparently, I think she does a really good job acting as Rebecca Hall's character from the first couple of episodes. Although I do miss Rebecca Hall. And I think she loses a little bit of bite not being Rebecca Hall after she becomes beautiful, quote unquote. And so this is a spoiler discussion. So I'm going to talk about like one of the final episodes. I think it's episode 9. So they're going to sabotage the main villain's plot. That's Ashton Kutcher's character. Out of the 4 people, the 2 assassins and Jessica Alexander's character, there's Evan Peters who hasn't taken the beauty. All the other ones have. So to make him unrecognizable, he's going to take the beauty. He's about to take a shot. He's like, okay, I'll become infected, but first I want to do it my way. So he takes the Jessica Alexander character on a romantic date. It leads, they're having wine. It leads to him having sex, and then he transforms later on. And when he transforms, he turns into a freaking 12-year-old. Because I guess the reason is they wanted to show that it's not a 1-for-1. It doesn't go the way you expect every single time, which comes into play later on in the season. But then they're all ready to do this sabotage thing, and guess what? It's too late. So you might as well just taken the fucking shot and just started the plan. Because that whole date thing, it just prolonged everything where it was too late. And then when he becomes a 12-year-old, he's like, we gotta hurry and do this. I'm like, you weren't hurrying before, motherfucker. It's just like really bad writing. Like, it's just illogical. I don't know what they were thinking with it. Like, what the fuck is this show? Who wrote this? Now I talked about the assassins. It's almost like a dark, twisted buddy cop thing. Antonio is an assassin that works for Ashton Kutcher's character, and he kills the people who were infected through sex or weren't allowed this shot or whatever. And Jeremy, he is an incel, kind of really overweight incel. He has sex with somebody and becomes Sexy Jeremy, okay? We'll call him Sexy Jeremy. Well, Antonio's about to kill him, and then Jeremy's like, I don't give a fuck, just fucking shoot me. And that Antonio. He's like, oh, I can take this guy under my wing. But he doesn't tell him he's going to blow up in 855 days from infection. But Jeremy, he's just banging people left and right, so they have to take care of all those people that he infected. I think he helps kill one of the first ones he takes them to. But anyway, they have this like buddy cop thing going on through the whole season, and it's one of the better things that happen in the first season, even though they're both psychotic. I mean, how likable are you trying to... How likable can a guy be in a Ryan Murphy show, really? They're despicable psychopaths, but it's kind of charming seeing their relationship kind of flourish and kind of learning more about them and them about each other. But they eventually team up with the FBI people, which I kind of like that aspect of it. It's like a big team dynamic, even though they're fucking around too long to even do their big plan that was set up for several episodes. Then there's the main villain, kinda, I guess, is Ashton Kutcher, who's like this billionaire tech bro who is working on the beauty and trying to roll it out to everyone across the globe. So he's played by Vincent D'Onofrio at first, and when he takes the substance, or I'm calling it the substance, when he takes the beauty, that he turns into Ashton Kutcher. That's one part I like about this, where they have like the before actor and the after actor. And at first, his character as Vincent D'Onofrio, he's married to Isabella Rossellini's character, and they're extremely wealthy. And he acts like he don't even love her. Like he is only married to her for money. But then as the show goes on, as Ashton Kutcher, he seems like he is in love with her and doesn't cheat on her or anything anymore. And then at the end, it's like the Ashton Kutcher character has sort of a face turn. Like he's the good guy now, because they eventually roll out the beauty to everybody. And I think it's 85% actually get the results they're looking for, but it really fucks up people. Like we have this side story of this high school girl who takes it, she didn't take it, she has sex with one of the people who took it. He took 2 doses or something, and then she turns into this gross, deformed fucking monster, kind of like at the end of the substance. So he's like, oh, just give him whatever. We're going to come up with a cure. We're going to give everyone the cure. We're going to pay out. I don't care, whatever it takes. But his son, played by the son of Jack Nicholson, is the bad guy now. He wants to take over. I don't know. The whole face turn, it just didn't make sense. It didn't lead with it in the story. It didn't really... It was just all of a sudden. And then Kutcher... I mean, he's got the look of someone who took the substance, but I don't think he's got the acting chops. If they're going to have like someone play this character and just gradually transform into a better person, they needed a better actor. They needed a better writer. The show flips that script way too fast without doing the legwork. Then there's another subplot. I mean, there are so many subplots in the show. It's hard to keep track, but John Carroll Lynch is the boss of the FBI agents. He's got a daughter who's got some sort of deformity, and then the Ashton Kutcher character comes to him. He's like, take this heat off of me, and I will give you all the beauty. I'm about to call it the substance again. We'll give you all the beauty. And he does, and they're all like the perfect looking family or whatever. And then later the FBI agents get captured, and John Carroll Lynch's sexy self, the actor that plays the sexy version of him, like gives him a tip to make sure they survive. And then he just disappears. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, there's so many loose threads that go absolutely nowhere with this show. It's actually kind of mind-boggling. Then there's like the final episode. It doesn't even feel like a finale. So Evan Peters takes the beauty, and he turns into a 12-year-old boy, but he's got his same senses and stuff. Well, it's too late to get Ashton Kutcher now, so they have a cure now, and they're going to test the cure. They sort of reverse engineered it, and they don't even know how it's going to work. So he takes it because he don't want to be a 12-year-old anymore. He comes out of the cocoon, and they react, and then it cuts to black credits. That is the end of the season finale. Not the end of an episode. There's not going to be other episodes. I don't even think a season 2's been greenlit yet. But that's how they end the fucking finale. It's like, bro, like if I was actually more invested in this, I would have been pissed. But you know, it's Ryan Murphy. I've dealt with Ryan Murphy for like 15 years watching this shit. This is the shit he pulls. He builds up a bunch of shit and just like falls flat on his fucking face at the very end. They set up this whole mission at the end, and it's like the assassination of Byron, the Ashton Kutcher character, and it's just completely moot. But now they're working for his son, and they think his son is the good guy, but he's actually the bad guy. And then Ashton Kutcher's actually the good guy, and it's like, who cares? So I don't know. This is just all over the place. It's almost like borderline schizophrenic, honestly, the way this story goes. If they dialed it back and made less episodes and actually gave a good finale, this could have been a solid show. But there are elements I do like. I like the body horror stuff. I like some of the characters. There's like, it goes on this like subplot of Bella Grant in episode 10, and I think that's what the comic book does, is like they tell these different stories about the people who took the beauty and the different results they get. And it's almost like an anthology style. And Bella Grant, she's like the teen horror part of it. She's the one that turns into the grotesque thing. It's fucking wild. But I like those. I like those little offshoots, the little anthology parts of it. So I read some of the stuff that happened in the comic. So if this does get a season 2, I have some theories about what's going to happen. It's clear the cure is going to be the new virus, if, I mean, the comics are any indication. The experimental reversal shot Cooper took isn't a reset button, it's a leash, apparently. So season 2 might dive into the corporate warfare arc of it. We have Tig, the son of Ashton Kutcher, and Dr. Sterling, who is like a robotics scientist. They're effectively staging a coup. The show is moving away from the body horror and into the realm of transhumanism. That's where I think the robotics will come in, maybe. And then there might be a civil war in the streets. You got the clean versus the beautiful. And fans of the comics have speculated that they'll introduce the real detectives from the comic, Foster and Vaughn, to clean up the mess this first season left behind. I guess that's probably pretty hopeful on their part. But I think Cooper is just going to look like Evan Peters but burned if Evan Peters returns to this show, and if they even have a second season, as still it hasn't been greenlit yet. The Beauty season 1 is a frustrating paradox. It features some of the most haunting, evocative body horror imagery I've seen in a long time, even before The Substance, anchored by a stellar Evan Peters, but it's also a victim of its own ambition. It's a show that sets up a fascinating, nihilistic world and then litters it with plot holes and gotcha moments that feel unearned. If you're here for the gore and the what if of beauty-obsessed apocalypse, there's plenty to chew on here. But if you're looking for a tight, logical thriller, you might find this transformation a bit too ugly to watch. I'm giving The Beauty Season 1 a 2 out of 5. But what did you think of The Beauty? Let me know down in the comments below. YouTube thinks you'll like one of these other videos by my head. And I'll see you later.